Greetings! I have today something interesting I wanted to take apart just to see what's inside, because it came from China, and also because it seems interesting, because I did have a quick look inside, but then I decided to do it in front of the camera. So what it is a charger. Comes from Newnow. There is a website name on the box, and I went to the website and I had a quick look, and they do sell it. So it's called Newnow Quick Charge 3.0. So they sell it for $15 US. Now I found this on eBay when I was looking for just something cheap and interesting, and it was on an auction for 1p start price. So I bidded for it, thinking that just to see what price will it get to, but then I thought it will be quite useful if it's any good, because I've got a lot of different things that use USB charging. Even right now in front of me there is 5 different USB chargers plugged into a strip in front of me. So having one of those that's got multiple USB ports would be quite handy. It would save me a lot of space. So I won the auction for £1.59, which is a significant price reduction over from what was on the website. I think the original bidding was for the one with the red front, or the back, but then the seller emailed me saying that they've run out of stock of the red one. Would I mind getting the black one? I said no problem, send me the black one. So without further waffle, here it is. You get a proper fused cable, and the charger itself, which is quite small, to be honest. It fits on a hand, just for scale. It's got six USB ports on the front, and this whole thing is a 30 watt charger. So a regular USB charger at most is 5 volt USB and up to 2 or 2.1 amps. So that would give it roughly about 10 watts at peak. Now not every device will support, will be able to draw the full 2 amps, especially if you have a long cable and whatnot, but that's something for another video. So back to this. It feels nice. It's got this funny plastic that feels a little bit rubbery on the outside, and it does have some FCC and CE and whatnot. It is made in China, so when I first got it I thought this is gonna be just a heap of junk, so it will be just a rip apart job, and just to see what's inside ready. It does say over here it's 5 volt 6 amps, so it will do up to 6 amps, so about an amp per USB port, or you probably, if you connect less than 6 devices to it, you probably can pull a bit more out of a single USB. So the front, I'll peel that off, has got this protective film on it. That's always satisfying to pull off. And there appears to be an LED over here, which we'll plug it in a moment just to see what it is. At first glance, what I don't like is the fact that they've put on the first 3 plugs is iPhone, iPad and Samsung, and then the bottom 3 are not labeled. Now I do not own any, I think, so Apple products. I haven't got one and I never will. And Samsung, no, the only thing from Samsung I've got is some Samsung USB chargers, which I'm trying to replace them with this. So does it mean that I cannot plug here anything other than iPad? Well, clearly not, but I just don't like that they branded it Apple. It's, well, not branded Apple, but just said it's for iPhone or iPad. I just don't like it. But anyways, as I said before, I've had a quick look into this. So at first glance, when I took it out of the box, I could not figure out how to open this. I tried peeling off the front, this front cover, which does actually peel off, and I might as well peel the whole thing off because it's just clear black plastic underneath. It's not as shiny as this, but it also doesn't have iPhone, iPad, Samsung. So after that modification, I'll be able to plug anything to it, but I wasn't able to get into it. And then at one moment I pushed a screwdriver here on the edge. It did not look like it was glued and joined over here, but I had a crack, and I managed to get in. So that's where it comes apart. It's just simply glued in, the back of it, and that's all there is. So yeah, afterwards I'll probably just glue this back in. Sorry. And that's the insides. So at first glance, with this one, there's the LED, so that will probably light up. First glance, this does not look like cheap Chinese stuff that normally you get from China. This is properly made switch mode power supply. I mean, you've got a huge transformer, opto isolator, big filter cap, another one here. There's a quite decent amount of isolation in between the primary and secondary, and they've even cut out the slot under the opto isolator. So at first glance, this is a good power supply. Most of the Chinese supplies are just dangerous, really, but this seems okay. The only thing, that the scratch over here, this is where I poked the screwdriver in at first, so I made this, but I didn't make any dent on the scratch. Maybe I'll put a piece of nail varnish or something just to cover that up, but anyways, that's not a problem. This has been, oh, look at this, they've even labeled the PCB. It says iPhone. Horrible. It says iPhone. The second one says iPad. Oh, now you can see it. The third one says Samsung, and the last three say standard next to each one of them. Ah, horrible. Okay, there is a couple of quality issues I can see straight away. So number one, is that the LED? Yeah, I think it is. So LED has got a track lifted. I'm going to try to, let me just zoom in a little bit more. Will this focus? Okay, that's probably as close as I can get. So there is a track that's lifted off of it's just been peeled off, delaminated from the PCB. it's still connected and it's not shorted to anything, I think, or is it? I might have to pull a meter and just test it. And the second, sorry, the camera's getting out of focus at this. The second thing, have a look at here. There is a deserter. So there was a resistor here. I can see the remains of glue in between the pads, but it's gone. There is another one next to it. They were most likely the same values in parallel, but this one most likely the glue let go, wasn't glued in properly or whatnot, and when this was wave soldered, what it looks like it was, this one just went and dived into and just sunk into the solder bath. So that's no good. 390 ohms resistor, so I think I'll look for another one like this and just stick one in parallel with this. It must have been the same one, because otherwise they wouldn't put two in parallel next to one another. It's all simply just to increase the power handling. So that's one issue. The truck is a second issue. So build quality is not all that great, but initially I was impressed that, you know, it's it coming from China. It's even got a NTC thermistor over here for protection. So it coming from China, you might as well expect a capacitor as a dropper and a resistor connected to a USB port, and the whole USB is live at mains potential. But no, this one is made somewhat properly. There's just two transistors and one heatsink, another transistor on the back. So yeah, looks good, but I will have to get in here with a soldering iron. Sorry, the camera doesn't focus very well like this. I'll have to get in here with a soldering iron to fix those two little things, and I'll probably get back in a moment and we'll see how that switches on and how it charges. Okay, I managed to modify the camera setup a little bit so you can see what I was on about when I said that the truck has lifted up. There it is. So it's heavily zoomed in, so the depth of focus is not that great, but yeah, I need to tidy this up a little bit, and if I'll find it, there is the missing resistor. So those two things need to be replaced. I should really deem this as faulty really, but for £1.59 I can't really complain. So I'll get this fixed up and soldered up, and I'll be right back. And back after the operation. If I just get the camera to focus. There we go. That's our resistor replaced with a beefy fat one. This is just a 1/4 watt resistor, but it looks huge on the camera right now. But yeah, that's one end, and if I just catch there we go, that's the pad that was lifted off, tidied up, so I'm sure this is not shorted now to the track next to it. Before it was just a bit too close, so that's all done. So now I can power this thing up and see if it works. Okay, back out of zoom mode. So I've made the repairs. So the resistors back in, that little track is replaced. I've stuck a little bit electrical tape over the scratch I made. The tracks are not broken, but I'm just thinking if I ever get tempted to take this apart again, I might grab this with my finger and get a nasty shock from the cap. So I guess I would get a shock anyways from touching the pads. Anyways, I'll just stack it on. Yeah, so this is, now it seems good. So let's test it. It's got a fuse, by the way, so that's this whole thing I'm quite surprised of how it was made and what's inside and whatnot, because as I said, this is not what normally comes, that's not what you normally get when the box says made in China. The box, by the way, has got nice little grooves on the side where the PCB slides in on both sides, so it's not just rattling about, it's held safely in one spot. That's a little bit iffy, but anyways, that's alright. Where is the back? So I won't glue this in for now. I'm just gonna put it together, squeeze it in. I'll do some tests. We'll do some tests on it, and I'll just glue it off camera later on if it's any good. So it will be replacing my whole array of chargers. So let's plug the cable in first here. That's no good. This this cable attachment seems a little bit loose. It's held on two clips over here, but as soon as I apply pressure, it bends backwards and those clips let go. So that's another repair maybe that needs to be done. Maybe put some epoxy on it, or maybe that's happening just because I took the whole thing apart. Yeah, I think the plastic holds it quite firmly in place when it's fully on, so I'll just be mindful of that and glue it together later. So here's the moment of truth. Ooh, a blue LED. Blue is good. Okay, so what I've got here is one of those USB charging. Oops, that's no good. I need to be more mindful of that. So I've got one of those USB charging monitors. So let's see, that's showing 5.19, 5.2 volts on the iPad connection. The same on the, sorry, that was iPhone, the second one was iPad, then there is Samsung, and now the regular ones. They're all the same. That's what it looked on PCB anyways. It's just one big 30 watts power supply, and is connected through two different USBs. There isn't much of a difference in there. So let's plug something into it and see how it charges. So I'm going to unplug over here one of the cables. I'll set this like this so it's visible. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit, just so the camera doesn't lose focus. Okay, and I can plug in my HTC. That's HTC M9. So I'll just go into the power menu so it displays the battery thing. Okay. Okay, the moment of truth. And it is charging. It's pulling an amp. So it's dropped now. The battery is quite full actually, so I don't think it will draw much more, because 92%, so probably should have had something a little bit more power hungry right now. Maybe let's try the tablet that I've got over here. Okay. Oh, tablet seems more power hungry. It's pulling 1.45 for 1.5 amps, more or less. And the voltage dropped to 5.08, which is okay, I guess. Let's see what happens if I plug it into one of the regular bolts. Oh, it's still the same. So that writing on the front makes no difference whatsoever. They're all exactly the same things, and they're all connected just one to another, so not a big deal. This is brilliant. So Newnow charger, £1.56 including delivery, 30 watts, 6 USB ports. Fantastic. I will keep that. Just need to glue it back in, a little bit of super glue, and yeah, that's going on my desk. I will be using this from now on. I'll probably peel off this front sticker, just because I don't like my charger to say it's meant for iPhone, but yeah. 6U travel charger. Input 100 to 240 volt AC, 600 milliamp. Output DC 5 volt, 6 amps. RoHS compliant. Fantastic bargain. Okay, that's it. Take care.